thing you have been able to count on, USC winning in the regular season. 38 straight regular season victories for the Trojans, but they tried to walk into Reser Stadium in Corvallis, Oregon, and do away with the Beavers. Oregon State and USC. Oregon State up 7-0. John David Booty going for Dwayne Jarrett. Brian Payton had other ideas. Oregon State stops the threat, but Trojans rise up and block a field goal. Second quarter, Trojans down 10-7, and Booty puts a snap on the ground, Mark.
This can't happen. Quarterback-center exchange has done this 5,000 times since spring ball. Oregon State takes advantage.
Second turnover of the day for USC. Matt Moore made them pay. Joe Newton touchdown. And all of a sudden, 23-10, that's in the third quarter. Now, special teams breakdown. Sammy Strawder going to punch the A sprint button, gone loose.
When you have 3 turnovers in the first half, give up a punt return, things do not look good at halftime.
This is in the third quarter now, and USC would turn it over for the 4th time. Chauncey Washington puts it on the ground. Oregon State got a field goal out of it. Third quarter, little high snap here, and now the Trojans are starting to get a little momentum. Kyle Loomis was the punter. He tried to get the thing off. USC would take over inside the Oregon State 20, and Mike Riley thinking we just have to avoid mistakes like that. Booty to Fred Davis.
Nice job on the naked boot, rolling out and throwing the ball on a frozen rope to Fred Davis, opening up the offense. That's what USC needed to do in this game.
Mark, did you say something about making plays? Steve Smith was a playmaker in this game. 258 yards receiving, couple short of the school record, touchdown, 2-point conversion, make it an 8-point game. Here's Booty again. Oh, does Jarrett get him out of trouble every time?
Every time, going up to the top, coming down with that football, full extension, Dwayne Jarrett.
And Lou, what about Smith on the sideline?
Just a tremendous catch.
Oh.
And let's remember this, John David Booty threw for 406 yards.
And look how close this was to being incomplete. This was a conversion. Oregon State would have taken over there. It was on 4th and 2. Play stands as a catch. Next play, 1st and 10 from the 18. Going to call a little screen. Washington rumbling, getting them inside the 10. A couple plays later, it's 1st and goal. Time winding down, under a minute to go. 8-point game. You need the touchdown and the 2-point conversion. Washington, short gain. 2nd and goal. Going for Jarrett on the fade. Incomplete, but pass interference was called. So now, this time, Booty, little play fake, firing it into traffic, and Keenan Lewis, I should say, with the nice pass defense. And then we've seen the fade. Now how about the fade? Stop. Steve Smith, touchdown! USC trying to pull it out of the fire. Now they need another 2-point conversion to tie the game. 7 seconds to go, and it is not to be. Batted down at the line of scrimmage, never got close to Jarrett.
And if you're an offensive tackle, you've got to get the hands down to the defender. You butt him, you cut him, whatever it takes. Don't let the defender disrupt the passing line.
33-31, Oregon State knocks off number 3 USC to knock them from the ranks of the unbeaten. And then there were 6 undefeated teams left. USC certainly not out of the picture left, but suffering a disappointing loss against the Beavers.
I can't even explain it right now. I'm just so happy, you know, for everything that's happened here the past couple weeks, for us to come out and play like this, not only for the players, but for the coaches, Coach Riley, everybody. This is just outstanding, and I can't describe the feeling right now.
The most important thing is to realize there's nothing we can do about it right now, but there's a lot we can do about what's coming up, and so we turn our focus to getting right back on track again.
Like I said, we shot ourselves in the foot. You know, we easily could have had this game, should have had this game, and you know, but we didn't. So that's on us.
You just fathom this excellence. That's their first regular season loss since September 27, 2003, when they lost in triple overtime to Cal on the road. And then they had their 34-game winning streak overall snapped in the national championship game against Texas in the Rose Bowl last January. And then the 38-game regular season winning streak comes to an end. John David Booty said, largely because they shot themselves in the foot, but Oregon State also made plays to build environment on the road. Number 5, Texas finding itself in a similar situation in Lubbock against Texas Tech. First quarter, Texas already down 14-0. Colt McCoy, Fletcher Session. I got a little touchdown session for you right here. Pick 6, Red Raiders up by 3 touchdowns before the end of the first quarter, but McCoy comes back. Sweet, 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 sweet. Lima Swede going in, and here come the Longhorns, 24-21. Graham Harrell threw for 364 yards in the first half.
But that upset Texas. They shut them out the entire second half.
And here is a Pontiac game-changing nominee, Colt McCoy, feeling the qualms. Quan Cosby going in. Texas takes its first lead at 35-31, but Jamal Charles coughs it up with just over 5 minutes to go, and Mike Leach's team with an opportunity. On 4th and 1, Graham Harrell stuffed on the quarterback sneak, a few lengths of the chain short. Texas takes over, and how about this? He's no Vince Young, but Colt McCoy, savvy, tough, heady runner, get across the yellow line, slide, keep the clock moving. Set the change, roll the clock. Texas goes into victory formation eventually, and the Longhorns, again, second straight week on the road, rallying last week against Nebraska, this time against Texas Tech, 35-31. Single area in which he thought his Georgia Bulldogs had an advantage over Florida, and boy, the game started that way. 7-0 Gators already. Chris Leak to Andre Caldwell.
Andre Caldwell, what a nice catch, adjusting his body, but a better finish to the play to get across the end zone, score, get across the goal line, touchdown. Florida,
Opening possession of the third quarter, it looked like last call for the Dogs. Craig Lumpkin puts it on the ground. Ray McDonald, defensive lineman's dream. Yes. Scored in the rivalry game. The route was on, or so Urban Meyer and the Gators thought. 21-7. Lumpkin hangs onto the ball. 21-14, and plenty of time to go. But Georgia couldn't make the big stops when they had to have them. Deshaun Wynn, with under 90 seconds to go, gets the first down. Florida hangs on. 21-14 against Georgia. Number 7 Auburn in Tommy Tuberville's old stomping grounds. Oxford to take on Ole Miss. Rebels had a 10-7 lead in the third. You know, that Brad Lester, he's a lot like an H2. You know, he's fast, tough, aggressive, cuts right through any type of terrain. Rebels down 17-10 in the fourth. Coach O goes to Fred Schaefer. Lawrence Lilly, touchdown, game tied at 17 all, but John Vaughn comes through, a little chip shot 20-yarder. Tuberville's team up by 3. The Tigers trying to run up the clock. 4th and 1, Carl Stewart.
Good physical run, ices the game.
Auburn added a field goal to make it a 6-point edge. Coach O's team goes down 23-17. Tennessee and South Carolina. Savell Newton, they get Noah Whiteside all wide open, Luke.
Noah Whiteside's a fine receiver. Great throw, excellent catch. Savell Newton threw for something like 280 yards and rushed for 80.
Savell Newton had a terrific game, and Eric Ainge came through when he had to. Brett Smith catching it in traffic, getting in, and Tennessee regains the lead at 21-17. And Jonathan Hefney all put a little juke move, a little right trigger. That was sprint with the A button and turn the corner. 65-yard return, Tennessee in goal-to-goal territory, and Arian Foster would pay it off from there, Mark.
A nice finish. The big guys up front doing a great job of creating holes. He's going to foul his big blockers right there and bulls his way into the end zone.
Bill Fulmer gets his 4th win in 12 games against Stephen Orr Spurrier, though the Gamecocks hang in there 31-24 as Tennessee keeps pace with Florida in the SEC East. And then there are the Buckeyes. Ohio State and Minnesota. Troy Smith, Brian Rubisky. Ohio State leads 17-0. Big deal in this game, though. Biggest thing that happened. Halftime, Jack Nicklaus, the Golden Bear, the former Ohio State golfer, dots the I in Script, Ohio. Only the 5th non-band member ever to be so honored. You know, you've got to pass a vote of the sousaphone section, do they? Wow.
Well, they're
28-0 vote.
They're going to have Troy Smith dot the I soon because he's dotted everybody's I across the team.
44-0. That might be a unanimous vote for Smith as a Heisman, too. Michigan marching toward that showdown with Ohio State against Northwestern. Lamar Woodley. I think Lamar Woodley's wanting a helmet sticker. Look at that Michigan defense stripping C.J. Bechet, Chad Henne, Adrian Arrington, 7-0 Wolverines, and then Mike Hart. This is a 4th and 2 play in the 3rd quarter.
Fouls Jake Scott on the left side. Nice little zone blocking there. Look at him. Stiff arm right there. Get off of me. And he's going to take it all the way down inside the 10-yard line. But he's not done.
No, Knight's going to run this one in. Excellent blocking by the fullback. Goes through untouched.
Hole wasn't that big, Coach.
I'm not real big.
17-3, C.J. Bechet. You can do it! No. Picked off by Willis Behringer, and Michigan on a sloppy, rainy day in Ann Arbor, 17-3. Wisconsin's only got 1 loss. The 1 loss to Michigan, but against Illinois, John Stocco has been so precise. Throws it, is picked off by Trevon Bellamy, one of the many, many freshmen that Ron Zook is playing. Illinois up 7-0. Another freshman, Juice Williams. Sometimes he's good, sometimes he's bad. Makes big plays for both teams. Makes one for Illinois there. Pierre Thomas. And then Illinois would go up 21-3 behind Thomas, Lou.
Unbelievable. Just dominated Wisconsin the first half at Wisconsin.
21-3, but now it's 24-10 in the 3rd, and here come the Badgers. Stocco to Luke Swan.
John Stocco's just so calm in the pocket. He's been around forever. He knows exactly where his wide receivers are going to be. And look at the big lineman just pick up Swan.
24-20. Stocco to Andy Crooks. Crooks puts it on the ground, but finds it.
He recovers the fumble himself for the touchdown.
30-24. Stocco 11-15 in the 2nd half. He was huge. Notre Dame and Navy. Fighting Irish have beaten the Middies 42 straight times. Taipo Noah, Kuheaku, and Hada. Gesundheit. Navy within 3. Kuheaku and Hada in there for the injured Brian Hampton scored the touchdown. It's a 17-14 game. Brady Quinn to Raymond McKnight.
Just a tremendous throw and a great catch. He and Samardzian are just playing excellent, and Brady Quinn is outstanding. Have an unbelievable year, except for the 1 game. And here he even shows how well he can run.
Well, he's no Taipo Noah, Kuheaku, and Hada.
Then again, who is?
Then again, who is? Notre Dame wins again over Navy. That's 43 in a row. Arkansas against Louisiana Monroe. Hogs stepping out of SEC play. Little direct snap to Darren McFadden, who gave it to Felix Jones, his running mate. They split time at tailback, and they tried that again. Mitch Mustaine not available for this highlight because McFadden was getting all the snaps, and McFadden throwing a touchdown pass to Wes Murphy. 44-10. The Hogs of the Right Reverend Houston Nutt roll on. Arkansas is a little bit of an undervalued, undersold 1-loss team right now. See the best 1-loss teams in the BCS standings. Be interesting to see how the pollsters handle Arkansas versus Auburn. The Hogs winning at Auburn. The matchups between Cal and Tennessee. The Tennessee won handily. Calling for Bowden to step aside or to have maybe fire his son, Jeff Bowden, his offensive coordinator. Xavier Lee starting at quarterback against Maryland. Drew Weatherford out with a sore foot. Lee finds Chris Davis, Luke.
Oh, just a nice throw. This young man did a very nice job by Xavier Lee in his first start.
27-24, ticking down toward a minute. Lee trying to get rid of it. He's called for intentional grounding, lost some precious yards there. It's the clock winding under a minute. Later in the drive, Florida State field goal in the waning seconds. Do you really even have to know what happened? You know Florida State doesn't make that field goal. 27-24, they're 4-4 are the Seminoles.
Well, it's naturally disappointing because, you know, we spent so many years not in this category. You know, we've been in the top 5 14 years in a row. Now here you're all of a sudden not even ranked. But we have very few seniors on the football team, and we know that our future looks good, but we'd like to do it now, and we're not. You know what? But maybe we will. We'll be home the rest of the season.
Bowden 4-4, his worst 8-game start since his first season at 76. Miami and Georgia Tech. It was homecoming for Georgia Tech, and the Jackets could all but punch their ticket to the ACC championship game if they could beat the Canes. Reggie Ball gave it up. Calais Campbell knocked it loose. Glenn Cook scored. Canes take a 7-0 lead. It's 13-3, Georgia Tech trailing. Ball looking for Johnson, but not Calvin. It's James Mayday.
What a great job of adjusting to the ball. Coming down in the shadows by James Johnson. And you know, if you really want to score, Reese, who do you throw it to?
Calvin Johnson.
And if you really want to win, who do you get it to?
Calvin Johnson.
And did Georgia Tech win the game?
They got it to Calvin Johnson, Mark. 23-16, and then that Tech defensive John Tenuta takes over. K. Michael Hall recovers the fumble, and Georgia Tech beats Miami 30-23. Wake Forest in the chase for a spot in the title game against North Carolina. North Carolina's John Bunting will step down from his duties at the end of the season as head coach of the Tar Heels, fired earlier this week. Wake goes up 7-0 when Alfonso Smith earns in the block punt. Riley Skinner looking for Kenneth Moore. Wake breaks a 17-17 tie with that touchdown. Wake Forest beating North Carolina 24-17 as Jim Grove's team continues to roll. Boston College, Chris Crane at quarterback as Matt Ryan rested that sore foot and ankle. They beat Buffalo 41-0. Tom O'Brien wants to make sure that Matt Ryan is healthy when Boston College faces Wake Forest in a showdown in the ACC Atlantic. Those are two of the teams with only one loss in conference play on that side. Oklahoma State, Huskers trying to bounce back from a heartbreaking loss to Texas at home last week. Bobby Reed and Adarius Bowman seem to not care much about the Huskers' problems.
What a nice timing pattern by both of these players. Bobby Reed putting it right on the mark, but Adarius Bowman finishing the play for the touchdown.
Bowman has been strong. I tell you, Mike Gundy has some offensive weapons. Pokes were down 16 early. Dontrell Savage, who rushed for over 100 yards, scored a couple of touchdowns. Oklahoma State rallies 41-29 over Nebraska. Oklahoma going on the road against Missouri. Paul Thompson to Joe John Finley.
Oh, just a nice throw, good play action pass. Paul Thompson's getting better and better. Now he's got a running game to go with it.
And he's got a running game from Adrian Peterson's replacement, Alan Patrick.
Alan Patrick runs hard, over 150 yards in this game. 2 consecutive games over 100 yards. He's carrying the load for the Sooners.
A tight game in the third quarter. Thompson with a Pontiac game-changing nominee, finding Quentin Chaney. Chaney's first catch of the season, first touchdown of his career. Oklahoma on the road, winning by 16. And next week, the Sooners get USC from the ranks of the unbeaten. Michigan State has long since been beaten and taken on Indiana. Now, Michigan State, remember last week against Northwestern, they scored first and then gave up 38 in a row. Pretty much did the same thing. You saw Kellen Lewis find James Hardy. That was a recurring theme in this game for Terry Hepner's squad. Lewis to Hardy again, 24-7, still in the first half. Lewis to Hardy. Lewis had 5 touchdown passes on the game, 4 of them going to Hardy. 46-21 the final as Indiana puts a whipping on Michigan State. Indiana's turned its season around. They still have dreams of becoming bowl eligible. They hope that they are among those nominated for the Pontiac game-changing performance.
Choice up the middle. Tashard Choice is gone. Touchdown.
Georgia Tech. I know Calvin Johnson's the hero, but Tashard Choice's run right there caps the win over Miami. It's a nominee for the Pontiac game-changing performance.
Slant, got it. Touchdown, OU.
Oklahoma's Paul Thompson to Quentin Chaney. This is the one that really put Missouri on its heels for good as Oklahoma went in to Columbia and won it over the Tigers.
McCoy throws, caught. This will be 6 for Texas. Quan Cosby with a touchdown.
Colt McCoy and Quan Cosby finishing the comeback for Texas against the Red Raiders. At one time down by 21. Texas duo led the Longhorns back.
They need the 2-point conversion. They go this time. It's knocked down. It's knocked down, and the Beavers are going to win it.
And that stopped USC's 27-game Pac-10 winning streak. It's the big play. It's a nominee for the Pontiac game-changing performance of the week. So you have all week to vote now. You can log on to ESPN.com. I wish I had 85 helmet stickers for Temple against Bowling Green. Look at Junior Golette going up, blocking the punt that gave the Owls the ball on the Bowling Green 43. Temple had lost 20 in a row, nation's longest losing streak. Mark, they wanted him to drop football. The critics say Temple doesn't need football.
They need football. Look at that throwback special for a touchdown. Excitement. Are you kidding me?
Adam D. Michelle to Travis Shelton, and Shelton enjoyed scoring so much he did it again. Does Temple need football, Lou?
Absolutely, but I wonder where the Bowling Green players are in the angle of pursuit.
They're behind it. They're chasing it. 20-game losing streak is over for the Owls, and nation's longest losing streak comes to an end.